Hello students, in this lecture we are going to start next method called forward pass method. This is for earliest event time. So in this method we will see the first notations. So here EI, which is same as ESIJ, called early starting time of an event of an activity IJ, and LSIJ, so this is late starting time of an activity IJ. Now TEF, called as EFIJ, so which is early finishing time of an activity IJ. So TIJ is duration of an activity between I and J for calculating earliest occurrence, and latest forward pass method and backward pass method are to be used. Now we will see first forward pass method. So this is for starting event. Okay, so remember this forward pass method is always used for starting event time. Now here notation for that starting event time is square and base j. Now in this method calculations begin from the initial event. Means what? If we have a network diagram like this, suppose this is a network diagram, and in this method, so this is forward pass method. So we will start calculation from the start of the event, and in backward pass method we start calculation from end of the event. Okay, so this is end of the event, end of the diagram, and this is the initial starting point of diagram. Okay, so forward pass method is starting from this point, and backward pass method starting from this point. Okay, so here in this method calculations begin from the initial event 1, proceed through the events in an increasing order of event numbers and end at the final event, say n. At each event we calculate its earliest occurrence time E and start time for each activity. This begins at the event. So the method is as follows. So what is how to use this method? Let's see. Set the earliest occurrence time of initial events to 0. That is, first substitute initial time EI is equal to 0 for I is equal to 1. Second, calculate the earliest start time for each activity that begins at the end I is equal to 1. So this is equal to the earliest occurrence time of an event called tail event. So that is ESIJ is equal to EI for all activities IJ starting at I. Now next is calculate earliest finish time of each activity that begins at event I. So this is equal to start time of the activity plus duration of the activity. That is, formula for TEF is equal to EFIJ is equal to ESIJ plus TIJ. That is EI plus TIJ. Means what? EFIJ has formula EI plus TIJ. So EI event EI plus time interval between activity I and J, and for all activity IJ begins at the event I. Next is proceed to next event, say J, where J greater than I. Calculate earliest occurrence time for each event J. This is the maximum of earliest finish time of all activities ending into that event, and find out EJ, which is maximum of EFIJ, which is equal to maximum of EI plus TIJs for all I and J. So for all immediate predecessors activities. And last is, if J is equal to N, that is final event, so this earliest finish time for the project, that is the earliest occurrence time En for final event, is given by, so formula is En is equal to maximum of EFIJ, which is maximum of En minus 1 plus Tij for all terminal activities. So this is the forward pass method, and next is the backward pass method. So forward pass method is starting from initial point, and backward pass method is starting from end point, and notation for backward pass method is triangle J, and forward pass method has notation square J. In this method, calculations begin from final event n, proceed through the events in decreasing order of event. So numbers and end at the initial events 1. At each event we calculate latest occurrence time L and latest finish and start time for each activities, that is terminating at event, and this procedure continues till the initial event. This method is as follows. Let's see backward pass method, how to use in network diagram. Set the largest occurrence of large event n, its earliest occurrence time known from forward pass method, that is substitute ln is equal to en, means by using forward pass method, so ln is equal to en where j is equal to n. Now calculate the latest finish time for each activity which ends at event j. This is equal to latest occurrence time for final event. LF ij is equal to lj for all activities ij ending at an event j. And next is calculate latest start time of all activities ending at point j. This is obtained by subtracting durations of an activity from latest finish time of the activity, that is TLS is equal to LS ij, which is equal to LF ij minus time interval between two activities Tij is equal to Lj minus Tij for all the activities ij ending at the event j. Now proceed backward to the event in the sequence that decreases j by 1. Calculate latest occurrence time of event I where I less than j. This is the minimum of latest start time of all activities from event. So Li is minimum of LSIj, which is minimum of Lj minus Tij for all immediate successor activity. If j is equal to 1, this is initial event, then latest finish time for project, that is latest occurrence time for initial event is given by L1 is equal to minimum of LSIj, which is minimum of LSj minus 1 minus Tij. Now let's see some definition. Now float or slack of an activity and events. So first is slack of an activity. So slack of an activity is denoted by letter S. So the slack also called float of events, and its earliest occurrence time is event float is equal to Li minus Ei. It is measure of how long an event can be delayed without increasing project completion time, called slack of an event. So in this slack of an event, first if L is equal to E for certain event, then such event are called critical event. So second case, if L not equal to S, so for certain event, then slack on this event is negative, then that is L less than E, or positive L greater than E. Second definition is slack of an activity. It is difference between latest finish time and earliest finish time for an activity. It is amount of time that activity can delay without delaying project completion. And third last definition is floats. So floats are the slack time available within the allotted span of non-critical activity. So there are three types of floats. Now first type of float is total float. It is the time difference between maximum time available to perform activity and activity duration. Next is the maximum time available for any activity is from earliest start time to latest completion time. So thus for an activity having duration is Tij. So the notations are L is called latest finish, E is called earliest start time, TLS has formula L minus Tij, which is called latest start time, TEF has formula E plus Tij, which is called earliest finish. Now the maximum time available has having formula L minus E. So the total float is equal to L minus E minus Tij. So L minus E. So this is for latest finish called backward method, right? So this is delta j minus, this is forward pass method, so delta j minus square I minus dij, which is equal to L minus Tij minus E, or L minus E plus Tij. Okay, so this is the total float. Total float having formula TLS minus E or L minus TEF. The total float of an activity is difference of latest start and earliest start time, or difference of latest finish and earliest finish time. Now second type of float called free float. It is the portion of total float within which an activity can be manipulated without affecting floats of subsequent activity. It is computed by subtracting head event slack from total float. Next, the head event slack is L minus E of the event. Free float of an event I minus j is equal to total float minus latest finish minus earliest start of an event. It is denoted by FF of FFij. So FFij is nothing but square j minus square I minus dij. Thus free float is the time by which completion of activity can be delayed without delaying its immediate successor activity. And last type of float is independent float. It is that portion of total float within which activity can be delayed from start within the affecting float of proceeding activity. Now independent float of an activity having formula I minus j is equal to ff minus L minus E of tail event. Now let's see the remark. Latest occurrence time of event is always greater than or equal to its earliest occurrence time. So TFij is always greater than or equal to FFij. So here latest occurrence time TFij is always greater than or equal to earliest occurrence time FFij. So this implies that value of free float range from 0 to total float and can never exceed total float value. That is, independent float is less than equal to free float is less than equal to total float. So this is the relationship between independent float, free float and total float. So total float is always greater than equal to remaining two floats, and free float is lies between independent float and total float. Now see the notations. Ej and Ej is denoted by square j, so called earliest occurrence time of an event j. Lj called triangle j, which is latest occurrence time of an event j. Tij called dij, so this is duration of an activity between I and j. Now next is the main point, which is critical path. So what is critical path? And certain activity in a network diagram in a project are called certain activity because further delay in their execution cause further delay in project completion time. Thus all activities having zero total float value are identified as critical activity. So all the activity having zero float value, these are called critical activity. Now what is critical path? Critical path of a network gives the shortest time in which whole project can be completed. So shortest way to complete all the network called the critical path. So the critical path is sequence or critical activities that form continuous path between start of project and its completion of last of event. So the critical path is shown by thick line or double line in network diagram. So based on proceeding calculations, an activity Ij will be critical if it satisfies following notation. First condition is if Li is equal to Ej, or this is latest finish, so delta I is equal to square I, Lj is equal to Ej, or that is delta j is equal to square j, and last condition, next condition is Lj minus Li is equal to Ej minus Ei is equal to time duration Tij. So if these are the conditions for Ij be the activity. Now any activity does not satisfy all three conditions, so it is called non-critical path. So this is the critical path and it completes our theory part. Now in next lecture we will see the examples on that method. Okay, we'll stop here. Thank you.